Yo, um, I just wanted to do a quick talking video because um, I wanted to say basically the only obstacle I've got now is psychology, and that means sticking to being patient, waiting for good quality setups. And what I wanted to do was talk about obviously the importance of waiting for a high quality setup is that your win rate increases. You might miss a few trades here and there, but your win rate overall increases because you take less losses because you're only taking the best setups, um, which can only be a good thing. It's just a patience thing. So taking good quality setups has to be a key to this. Being patient. Like today, I took one trade in the EU, one trade in NQ, and there was a couple of trades before. If I wouldn't have come into this session thinking be patient, there would have been a couple of trades before that I took that wouldn't have given me the same amount of confidence as the ones that I did end up taking, and the ones that I did end up taking both won full TPs. So I just wanted to say that firstly. Um, and it's interesting because there's always setups that show themselves, but the thing that helped me determine a good setup, and this is what I wanted to talk about because this month coming in May, it's gonna be very busy, like, and I might have to take a few weeks without trading. I'm gonna still try and get on the charts, but I might have to like miss certain weeks and days and whatever. Like I've got busy weekends, like full on weekends for all throughout May. So um so I wanted to talk about what a high quality setup is. Now we're looking for patterns, yeah, in trading. We're looking for patterns in this setup. But the thing that makes a setup high quality in my eyes is not only the pattern. Obviously, we're looking for a sweep of liquidity, an inversion, but the most important thing for me at the moment is the momentum. And I can't believe I'm saying that because when I first started doing this strategy, I just didn't see why the momentum's important, but now I do. And I feel like the reason that momentum is important is because it shows the intention of the move. I gotta think about the model that I'm doing as accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So essentially, I'm looking for places that look like they have manipulated and distributed. And the reason that momentum is important in that situation is because it shows the intent of the move. So if there was momentum up but a lack of momentum back down, that may not have been the manipulation, because manipulation and distribution have to go hand in hand. So if we're going up with volume and not coming down with volume, what's that telling us? That's telling us that might not have been a manipulation. Um, and do you know what? Let me just quickly go through these trades as an example that I took today, because I feel like they might help. So let's do NQ first because that was the first trade I took. Okay, so these are all the lines I had drew out. Got on the chart here. Okay, so this was the first trade I missed out on. So I saw this, saw all this. We was at like a semi-important area, but we had this gap here that we made. Firstly, we made this gap actually, and honestly, I'm kind of glad that I wasn't on the chart at this point because this one I maybe would have took. Potentially break even there, but I feel like this could have been a loss. But again, it's because of the momentum. But honestly, actually, I probably, if I was smart, I would have seen that there's another gap right there. So questionable whether I would have took that or not. But then I was on the chart at this. So I got on the chart like around here. Now I did like this because we were failing to go higher. Clearly, like just wicking. Here, obviously, it was way too late to be getting in compared to there, so that might have been the reason I didn't get in. But this was the one that I really was hoping to get in for, and it was because we came down with high volume, swept these lows here. Now, if this would have come up on one of these candles here, boom, 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 any of them, and inverted straight away, I would have been in on that. But because we just fucked around for ages, I was just like, after a while, I was like, this ain't what I'm looking for. This can't be the manipulation. And I think the only reason or the only way that stopped me from getting in, because like I could, if I was just trading this as a pattern, I could have got in here and hoped for this high, and I would have lost. But the reason I didn't get in on this was because of the lack of momentum. Because if this is truly a manipulation distribution, why are we coming down this heavy and then just stalling here for so long? Yeah, okay, we still protected that low, but if this is truly a manipulation, 1, 2, it should have been like that, bang, bang, straight back up, take the liquidity, gone, but it didn't. So once I feel like we got to like somewhere around here, I was just like, yeah, okay, I deleted that. I was like, this ain't the trade that I'm looking for here. And then this happened. So we came down. This was into an hourly gap. So it was this wick here that came into this hourly fair value gap. And then we just absolutely blasted through this. And yeah, it's not the cleanest, most banging momentum, but it's momentum nonetheless. Look, we came down, done our damage, tapped in. We're only showing signs of going higher here. Look, even tapping into that fair value gap gave me even more conviction. I was like, okay, we're bullish right now. And then I got in here. Bit of a horrible place to get in, but I still had like enough room for a good break even. And then yeah, TP got hit. I did see this one coming down as well, and I would have got in if we inverted up here, but because we inverted so low down here, I just thought, nah, I'm not getting in on that. And then there was another one here, but to me the gap was too small, and then to me that gap was just too close to anything important. So yeah, that was my NQ trade, and that was all based on volume. Now this trade, man, beauty. Honestly, if these weren't coming up here, I would have took this, and I would have still been a runner. My stock would be under this low, and I actually believe that this could go all the way to them highs there. But yeah, similar thing for EU. Really, I feel like I just was patient here. I did see this coming down, and I was like, okay, we've took some liquidity here. This is quite nice momentum on this time frame. And then I was semi looking for longs in here, but I was just kind of waiting for thing to tell me. Like, this was nice, but no entry. Like, I've got nowhere to get in here. Like, took all these lows. This as momentum was crazy, but like personally, I'm I'm glad I didn't. Obviously, I'm glad I didn't get in on this, but seeing the only reason I didn't get in on that, well, a couple of reasons actually. Because firstly, I've started to realise that if I don't just take these small 1 minute moves with one singular gap, I don't do as well. Like my trades don't actually end up as good as they could be. So I did want to just wait for a small little 1 minute gap. But the other thing that gave me lack of conviction for that trade was because we had that same pattern right up here, and if we had made that pattern here, we should have been taking that low. And we had that same pattern here. Obviously this is a bit slower coming up, but it's still like bullish price action coming up. But so I was like, okay, we could come down for this low, tap into that. So exactly what I was hoping for did end up happening. And and eventually I waited. I finally got in on this trade here, which swept the low, tapped into a fair value gap, and then came in. Nice bit of momentum, I'd say. It's definitely showing signs of bullishness to come out. So I was like, yeah, I'm in. And then I did re-enter here as well, and we came down, swept. This was the kind of momentum you want to see, to be honest. But yeah, man, that's what I wanted to say. I know, like, I've realised as a pattern for myself is that when I come away from the charts for a little bit, I forget what I was doing, and I forget how to see the market. And I think that's such an important thing to be able to do and to remember, is like learn how to see the market, like, because once you see it in the way that it is, you can't fail. Trading patterns is good, but you need to look at the market in the way the market moves. It's this entity that moves in a way, and it's just spotting those signs of saying, okay, is this a real setup for me? Is this giving me conviction? Is this showing me that this is actually what the market's doing, or is the market trying to fake me out? Because the market's always going to try and fake me out. It's always going to try and beat me, but I've got to try and beat it. So yeah, just wanted to say that as I come up to this busy month.